Hey there folks, welcome back to Let's Play Prototype 2. In the last episode, we got our shapeshifting power, completed some tutorials, and in this episode, we're going to find out a lot more about the other practical uses for that shapeshifting power. And today I'm feeling pretty jazzed up. I sent my TV off to my warranty company yesterday, and in the meantime, I am going to be able to keep recording this series because I have a backup TV, although it might be the worst TV I've ever dealt with. Honestly, fuck Emerson. At first, I didn't even think there was an HDMI input in this thing, which is kind of like building a door without that isn't compatible with fucking doorknobs. But no, it turns out it actually has one. It's hidden way, way up in the fucking back, like it's trying to crawl back into the TV. It's a nightmare given TV form. I had to solve puzzles to get to it. I had to spray some fluorescent solution, so a note scribbled in blood would show up to give me directions to it. I had to solve puzzles. I got trapped in a fucking snake pit. A boulder chased me down the hallway looking for this thing. A giant albino attacked me. He was guarding the entrance to the fucking HDMI port. And finally, I find it way in the back, sitting there with the TV turned 90 degrees on my TV table, lying on my back with a flashlight looking up in it. And there's a little lip that covers it up that separates it from the rest of the inputs on the TV. And, oh my god. I would have to... Because I have... obviously, I have multiple devices using the HDMI input on the TV. And my old TV... the one that I sent to get serviced because there's a defect in the screen, has conveniently 3 HDMI ports, and they're easily accessible if you just kind of slip into the side of it, or slip behind it. Really easy to see, really easy to get to, not a big pain in the ass. This one, complete fucking opposite. And so I've worked it out now where I only have to swap out the HDMI cable. For now, if I want to use my Xbox or if I want to use my 20-foot HDMI cable that runs from my PC to do that. And I'm not looking forward to ever having to swap that out, because I would need 3 arms to comfortably do that. I would need 1 arm to balance myself while I sit on the underside of this fucking thing. I would need 1 to hold the flashlight and 1 to actually plug the HDMI cable in. But yeah, luckily, because there are 2 HD component inputs on the TV, I can just use the temporary solution of keeping my Comcast box in one of those, the PS3 in the other, because I have to record 2 different Let's Plays off of that anyway. And then the HDMI port just gets swapped between my PC and my Xbox. So that's not too fucking horrible, but yeah, that was kind of a nightmare to find all that.
Wait a minute. I know this neighborhood. That's my church.
Anyway, in the meantime, you can see that I stole the identity of one of the guards. And that apparently in this far advanced future that we live in, you know, where we have wonderful, miraculous technology like phones that take pictures, the guards could not identify me.
Father, I'm not gonna hurt you.
James? That is quite a story. But I don't know why you've come to me.
I came to you because you know things, Father. You hear things. I came to you because I need your help.
Yeah. I heard a lot of things. Most of it bad. The infection. It just swept everyone away. I tried to help. I did everything. But then there was Blackwatch.
What did they do?
Rounded up the healthy, put them in camps, gave them the disease, put them in cages with the monsters. Some old friends and we tried to get them out, but they caught us.
I'll be happy to prove you wrong. If what Mercer says
And
is true,
you can
I
clearly
need to
see
look at the
that
Gentek and Black
Heller
Lives.
is sporting that
Who's in charge
sweet
of
pop collar that we saw Alex Mercer sporting.
I don't know names,
And
but I know there are
apparently,
two commanders at
Alex
the
Mercer
hospital.
is like the
They
Mr.
turned into
Miyagi
a
of
command
fucking
post.
Fonzie level pop collars.
Don't cause any trouble.
Because he has taught the student well.
Watch made the virus.
And that
They
is not the
killed
only
Ryan
skill that we
Collette.
will be stealing
What
from
you do,
Alex
tell me
Mercer.
Be careful.
I cannot wait to show off the next one. I think you can guess if you were paying not even that close of attention to the to Alex Mercer during the initial tutorial section. In the meantime, though, I'm just gonna harass civilians because,
This ain't funny.
you know, I'm a superhero.
Everything flashing.
Not really a hero, just a super asshole. And that is what I'm capable of. So let's eat people. Why not? And throw them. And that is by far my favorite thing to do so far in the game. Is just to super jump in the air and throw people as far as possible. What I want to do once I get a rocket launcher, if I can keep those, because I know I do get to use them at certain points, is I want to throw these guys off of buildings and use the rocket launcher to essentially do target practice. Kind of like what is it called? The clay pigeon shooting? Shit, I can't remember what that's actually called. Or if there is actually a name for it. Anyway, though, now, this might be my memory failing me, but I'm pretty sure that the animation he uses in flight and the effects are the exact same ones that Cole uses, that are used for Cole in Infamous. Like, down to the position of his arms, everything about it. I'm not saying that the Prototype 2 devs stole it from them, but that's a kind of an interesting coincidence since the game already gets compared to Infamous anyway. And here is the most useless parkour that you could ever want the ability to have. And so far, everything is pretty much all good for Heller. You know, aside from the tragedy of the wife and child. I don't know why I said that. No, things are not very good for him. They kind of are, though.
Oh man.
They're pretty okay.
What's happening to me now? Son of a bitch. That's the guy I'm looking for. I've got viral sonar.
And of course, with the ability to run up the side of buildings, this cocktail of superheroes and fictional characters he has now become includes Hulk, Carnage, Cole from Infamous, Ezio, and Spider-Man. So that's a pretty awesome combination of people to be, power-wise. I mean, honestly, the virus is kind of probably the best thing that's ever happened to him. I mean, short of his wife and kid getting killed by it, I don't know why all these people are so worried. Especially the guys around him. I mean, if you got infected with this virus and miraculously got these Alex Mercer, James Heller powers, that'd be like getting upset that someone's brandishing a gun at you that dispenses handjobs and laughter.
All that sympathy he showed Heller, it was
You know, assuming it doesn't kill you.
a little sickening.
Which it might.
Be that as it may, this is not the topic we discuss in front of the men.
Shit. William, the fuck you doing in the command center? Get back to your post.
Yeah, and apparently once Heller consumes somebody, not only does he shapeshift into them, but he also gains their memories.
I gotta lose these assholes.
So that's 3 very practical uses for the shapeshift power: is regenerating health, getting the heat off your back, and of course, it has very important plot implications. But I still can't get over that in this day and age, I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief to believe that none of these people
Don't worry.
remember what he looks like. None of these people have taken a picture of him. Nobody's sent out an all points bulletin. Be on the lookout for this gentleman with a giant pop collar. Nobody recognizes him somehow until he has done something horrific. And even so, like, this guy comes up beside you and shapeshifts into your into somebody who you're working with, your colleague. And then he disappears for a second, and then all of a sudden, a guy who looks like your colleague comes back. You're not suspicious of that. That blows my mind. Like, I don't expect an amazing plot from this game, but that just doesn't... That bothers me so much that happens in this game. Like, I get the practical aspect of it. Like, it wouldn't be that fun if you were constant... If you couldn't roam the streets ever without constantly having somebody shooting at you. It would just kind of get annoying. Like flies buzzing around, basically, for this superhuman. But still, there should be some better way or some better explanation for why nobody is alarmed when they see him. Or when they see the people that he has shapeshifted into in front of them. And the hunting pulse thing, I'm not fond of that mechanic. And I think part of that might be because I expect that instead of working like sonar, I think I have this preconceived notion in my head that the little orange pulse is just going to come back to me at the epicenter from all angles, so it's hard to separate in my mind that it's actually giving me some kind of information, that the direction the pulse comes from is actually telling me where to go. Even though I know that that's how it works, it's just, in my head, it doesn't seem like it should work that way. Like, there it came from almost in front of me. And it takes me a second to think that, no, it's not bouncing back at me from all angles, like, kind of enclosing in on me like a circle, a ripple or something. Not sure if I'm articulating that in the best way. But yeah, here you can see the pulse is wanting me to go onto the bridge here and do a short little kind of platforming section. And this hunting pulse is going to be something that we're going to be using. For the most part, it's going to be what we do for the next hour, really. For the most part, the missions are just going to be hunt down a target, consume the target, watch this cutscene, kind of that tedious formula. And man, that was that guy's last day before retirement. Oh well. Yeah, something that I'm noticing about this playthrough, watching it a second time, or watching it watching it the first time after having played it through the first time, is I'm really noticing just how sleep deprived I was when playing this. There's a lot of just like aimless wandering around, picking up the barricade just because, throwing it at my target. Just kind of a lot of silly stuff because I had not slept in, I think, 40 hours when I played this the first time. Luckily, though, I'm going to be a lot sharper for the next recording sessions. Still, the best thing I could do is make up for all this with awesome commentary. So, if you notice then, my target, when I failed the last time, was, I think, the guy in the blue hazmat suit. I think that's the guy I'm looking for. Yeah, just get the fuck out of my way. Oh, no, apparently it's not him. I think it is one of the guy in the blue suits, though. And I'm noticing there's a large disparity in the way people are protecting themselves. And it's making me think that the virus is just not that significant of a threat, even though, in the context of the narrative, they really want you to believe that it is. And I love the ragdolling in this. It's so fucking funny to watch. Because, I mean, they're... Getting back to what I was saying before. Oh, no, it's this guy who was my target. And I'll finish that thought after this short little scene.
Colonel's in for a rude awakening if he thinks Colonel Rooks is just another bureaucrat.
Hell, LT, I know better than that myself. My old squad leader got drunk one night, picked a fight with the colonel. He's still in the hospital, last I heard. Eating through his...
Maybe he was running his mouth like you are. Show some fucking respect.
Colonel Rooks.
Anyway, what I was saying was that there are some people running around with just face masks. There are some people, there are some of the soldiers who have the military issue gas masks. There are the people in hazmat suits. And that's such a wide disparity in protection. And later on, we're going to see that there are also people who just aren't covering their face at all, or really taking any kind of measure to protect themselves. So, and they're standing side by side with the people who are fully suited up or masked or whatever. And it's kind of odd that they chose to do that, because it makes you think, like, what is the point of all this protection if nobody really seems to be getting infected? And maybe they will do something with that later on, where, yeah, we see there's really much more of a threat of pandemic here than they are portraying. But for now, it's not really something that they're doing a good job in instilling in you, that fear of the pandemic. And here is what my other lesson from Mr. Miyagi Mercer is: the helicopter flying kick, which is a little bit awkward to do the first few times. As you can see, I'm kind of having a hard time, because what you have to do is you have to hold the jump button instead of just tapping it. You have to lock onto the copter, and then you just soar through the air with no regard for physics whatsoever. It's wonderful. It really is a whole lot of fun, but I am taking a ton of damage trying to pull this silly little maneuver off. So, yeah, gotta run for it for now. And here I'm just going to shapeshift, and that gets the heat off of me for no reason whatsoever, because they saw me consume this guy, so they should probably have been on watch for them. Still, though, you know, you get the impression that plot and narrative really aren't the biggest concerns for this game, which I'm kind of okay with. I wish they wouldn't put so much emphasis on it if they aren't going to really do anything interesting with it or really logical. Because if it's just a free-roaming sandbox game with a paper-thin plot to contextualize everything you're doing and to kind of give you a point A to point B to go to, that's fine. But when you start putting more emphasis on it, then the expectation should be that you do more with it. Otherwise, it's just kind of wasting time. Kind of like, I had this criticism of Soul Calibur 5, where they had this kind of tedious, lengthy relative to a fighting game, story mode where nothing makes sense. The plot is nonsensical. It's full of ridiculous, awful contrivances. And there's no reason for it to really exist, because it's not... it's not good. It's not trying to be good. And that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is the core fighting game part of it, not the story aspect, which isn't any good to begin with. So playing through it, it's just kind of a waste of time. It's a waste for it to be there. Oh, and here we hear someone in the background, I'm not really sure who that is, saying that the face masks face masks will lower the risk of infection.